Adding a product into Kabba is drop dead simple, but I'm going to show you a couple tips and tricks that'll make your website look like a professional did it for you. Now, the first thing you're going to have to do is get images. This is the most difficult part of creating a product and making it look like a professional did it. But if you follow these steps, it'll come out perfect every single time. Of course, the first thing you need is the image. And the easiest way to get that image is just go to the manufacturer's website and borrow it off their website. Naturally, everything is under copyright, so make sure you have permission to do this. Companies like Barretto are certainly there to help you promote their product. They issue a marketing package, and also, if you just think about it, what company doesn't want you to promote their product as long as you're doing it in a positive light, which of course we are going to do as a rental shop. So all I'm going to do is come to the Barretto website. I'm going to find the images that I want, and remember, there's going to be the primary image and then the hover image. So I like to keep the product display as clean as possible and go with a simple image. But then for the hover image, I like to show the product either in action or to put some specifications on it. So if I am promoting, let's say, an excavator, I want to show the difference in product performance from one excavator to the next to the next. For products like the sod cutter, it's going to be less about the specifications and more about the product in action. Of course, you can do it any way you choose to fit your website theme. In this case, all I need to do is pick my image, right-click on it, and then hit Save Image As, and download it to my computer. I'm going to use this image as my hover image, so again, I'm going to right-click and click on Save Image As, download it to my computer, and then I'm going to import this into my editing software. To keep your website looking clean and professional, we've optimized all the image sizes to be 650 by 650. This works for your product images and your category images. So let me show you how easy it is to get your images into this size. You can use any editing tool that you like, but I prefer to use Photoshop and Snagit, and I'll show you how I use both of these tools to optimize my images. So in this case, I'm going to open up the sod cutter, and I'm going to start with Adobe Photoshop because I want to cut the image out from the background. I am not a Photoshop expert, but let me show you how easy it is to use this tool to automate the process. All I'm going to do is come up to Select and Mask. I'm going to click on Subject Select, and Photoshop will do this automatically for me. And you can see it's put a line around the entire image. And I'm just going to create a new layer from Copy. And when I deselect the existing layer, you can see it's all cut out 100% perfect. Then I'll just export this. Now I'm going to export this as a PNG, and it's not in the correct size. I could do all of this work in Photoshop if I were better in Photoshop, but I have a cheater tool that I'll use, and I'm going to show you how to use it. And the reason I use it is because it's just so simple. Now I'm opening up this image again, but I'm going to open it using a tool called Snagit. And all I'm going to do with Snagit is get my final size and then save it as a WebP format. So come down here, and I'm going to take my larger size and say 650. And you see it's resized it to 650 by 433. So all I'm going to do is stretch this out a little bit. And we'll be at 650 in a second. Oh, there we go. That's it, 650. I'm just going to change this here, bring it a little higher. And that's it. Now I can save this as my final image. But what I want to do is I want to move it from a PNG format to a WebP format. This is a optimized format for websites. And I like to name things as a rental. Every little thing helps when it comes to search engine optimization, and the more we can tell Google about what our website is, the more likely it is to give us all that free organic traffic. All right, that one's done. Now let's do our hover image. And this one I'm not going to cut out because I want the background in it. So all I'm going to do is open this in Snagit. and I want to resize it. Now in this case, I'm going to go with the width at 650 because I don't want to lose that detail. But now it's too tall. So all I have to do is just, again, shorten it up. And just play with it till you like it. Crop it. Save it. And again, I'm going to save this as a WebP format. You notice I keep the same structure when I name it, Sod Cutter Rental, but I add a hover after it. This is just my way of doing it. You can do it any way you choose. And now we're done. We have our main image and our hover image all set up and structured. So let's go add the actual product into our website. To add the product, I'll just come into Products, and I'll click on Create New Product and enter the product name. And you'll notice we have two different styles of products, and if I want to enter a rental product, I leave it at the default. If I want this to be a retail product, in the case of selling gloves or straps or chains or binders, you'll click on this configuration because that'll be a different style of product. But again, in this case, this is going to be a rental product, so I am going to leave it at the rental configuration. For now, I'm going to skip the short description and the longer description. I'm going to add my images that I just got done putting to 650 by 650. Next, I'll add my pricing. And you'll notice that the damage waiver is automatically added based on the pricing. You can set this in your settings to designate what percentage you want that damage waiver to be. And if you ever get to a point where you don't like the automated price, you can just write right over it. So you can let it go on automatic, or you can change the price to whatever you want it to be at any one of these levels. In this case, I'm just going to leave it at the automated price. Since the machine has a track, I'm going to add the track insurance to it. Again, you can either go with the pre-designated prices that you set in settings, or you can just put it in manually. In this case, again, I'm just going to leave it as we've set it in the settings. Prepaid cleaning, again, I'm going to use the predetermined rates. And the prepaid fuel. Delivery, I'll do the same thing. And if I wanted to designate this as a high demand type product, in other words, I'll have some products like aerators that have a very seasonal demand to them. And when it gets to that seasonal demand, I don't want people to be able to book them online without an alert that tells them that they may not get the date and time that they're looking for. In this case, I'm not going to designate this as a high demand item, so I'll keep moving. Here we can add our options. In this case, I don't have any options for this product. And then what I'm going to do down here is put this into my landscaping category. And keep in mind, I can add this to as many categories as I choose in case I want to present this in different categories in different manners. For now, I'm going to save this. And I'm going to show you that it is already on our website. And here it is. Now when you come in here, you'll see there's no description, but we already have the prepaid fuel, prepaid cleaning, the damage waiver protection, and the thrown track coverage is automatically added here. When I unclick this, you'll see that I get this message. Okay. and all the way down they'll get a message every time, so they understand when they unclick these things what their responsibilities are. This has worked out very well for us. Our machines come back fueled up, cleaned up much more consistently than when we had it the other way, where we just threatened people to charge them a high fee if they didn't do what we wanted them to do. So now you're live with this product, but now I'm going to show you how to turn the website into a much more effective selling machine and how easy it is to do that. To get the product description, you can either type it in yourself using the HTML editors that are included, or what I do is cheat a little bit and I go to ChatGPT and tell it that I want a search engine optimized article written in 3 parts so that I can add this into my CMS and I don't have to write it myself. All I want to do is take this and copy and paste it now into my product description. So I'm going to start at the bottom of the page actually with the title. And this is our meta title. Come back here and I'll get our meta description. And I get this little extra tag at the end, get rid of that. And now I'm going to add my short description, which is just 3 bullet points of benefits. And again, I'm just going to copy and paste the HTML out of here. You can do it in a lot of different ways, but I find this to be the easiest for me. And I'm going to open up the source code and just paste it in. Okay. Now if I want to change it, I can use the little shortcut up here to do that. Right? If I wanted this bold, or if I didn't want it bold, I can just make these modifications. I don't have to know HTML. Okay, and now I'm just going to do the same thing here. Just copy all this. And come down here again, I'm going to click on the source code and just paste it in. Save it. And there's my article. All right, now I'm going to save this article. And let's go back to our website. And here's my side cutter. So here you see I have the main image, then I have the rollover, and again you can do this for everything. In this case, instead of using a product action image, I did a specification image. You can do anything you want based on the product and based on what you're trying to do from a promotional standpoint. Now let's click on the product itself, and you can see up here I have my 3 little bullet points. I don't want to put too much information up here. I just want this to be 3 bullet points that are benefit specific and give people a good reason to like this product. And then down here, this is really for search engine optimization. I'm not really writing this article for people to read. I'm writing this for the search engines to find my rental website when people are looking for a sod cutter. That's also what the title and meta description are doing for you. Now lastly, I want to arrange this in a way that is suitable for my promotion. Do I want the sod cutter first? Well, maybe, but I find that I usually do better with a straw blower as my lead-in product. So I'm going to come back here and I'm going to rearrange things. And also you see this aerator seeder down here. These things work better in the spring and fall, and they're not very good in the summer or the winter, which is why I moved them down to the bottom of the page. But now that we're coming into the spring season, I'm going to rearrange this in a more optimized way. So let's go back to our admin section. We'll come into product categories, and now we'll come into landscaping down here, and I'll hit edit. And you see my product arrangement is in this order. So all I have to do is put the straw blower first, move the aerator, the other aerator, and then the sod cutter will be fourth. Save it. And actually I think I'm going to move this rototiller. Save it. And let's go back to the website, and you'll see how the entire arrangement is automatically changed. There you go. Now I've got my straw blower, aerator, walk behind aerator, and my sod cutter in the order that I want them. And these things, again, these are slower rentals, so I move them more towards the bottom of the page and keep my high demand items at the top of the page.